I remember the first time a Reaper Leviathan came out of the dark in the original Subnautica. I was just swimming along minding my own business, completely absorbed in this alien ocean, and then this enormous shadow appeared from the deep, and I genuinely panicked. That game got under my skin in a way very few games ever have. I was in it from early access, sinking hours and hours into exploring every corner of that planet, scanning every creature, building bases, uncovering the story. And then I played it again. And again. Below Zero 2, though if I'm being completely honest, the original is still the one that sits closest to my heart. And the one thing that always nagged at me, the one thing I kept wishing for, was someone to share it with. I wanted to dive into those depths with a friend, build a base together, panic together when something enormous appeared out of nowhere. And Subnautica 2 is finally, actually, delivering that. May 14th, 2026, Early Access. Let's talk about it properly. So what is Subnautica 2? At its core, it's exactly what you'd expect. An underwater survival adventure set on an all-new alien world, built around exploring the unknown, building bases, crafting tools, and uncovering the mysteries hidden in the depths. But this time you can play alone or with up to 3 friends in 4-player co-op, and that is genuinely a franchise first. According to the team, co-op was built into the foundation of the project from the very earliest stages, not added later, not bolted on as an afterthought. They were testing new features for multiplayer compatibility from day one, specifically to avoid the synchronization problems that kill co-op experiences, making sure that when one player opens a container or triggers something in the world, everyone else sees it correctly. That kind of groundwork matters a lot, and it tells you this wasn't an easy checkbox they ticked. It was a real commitment. The new planet is a completely fresh start. Players are exploring a world rumored to be called Zizora, with several new biomes offering distinct predators, resources, and secrets. One that already has people talking is the Luminous Fissures, a network of underwater canyons lit up by fluorescent seaweed and crystals where the water shimmers, but something is always lurking below. The visual jump is also real. Subnautica 2 is built on Unreal Engine 5, replacing the Unity engine used in the previous games, bringing real-time rendering improvements to flora, fauna, underwater lighting, and environmental detail. And there's a mechanic that was actually designed for the original game and then cut before it ever launched. A tool called the transfuser that lets players extract alien DNA and process it into serums that grant abilities like enhanced swim speed, night vision, and pressure resistance. That's a fascinating addition and one of the most interesting new gameplay ideas they've introduced. Now let me get into what genuinely excites me about all of this, and then what I think you really need to consider before spending money. Because this isn't a straightforward recommendation either way, and I want to be straight with you about that. The multiplayer alone is enough to make me want to jump in immediately. I can't tell you how many times I looked at Subnautica and thought, this world is so good, I just want someone else in it with me. You can convert a single-player save into a multiplayer session at any time or start fresh in co-op, and the game supports both first-person and third-person perspectives in multiplayer. No part of the game requires co-op to progress. No locked areas, no multiplayer gated puzzles, no progression walls behind it. Solo players get the complete experience. Co-op is purely additive. That's exactly the right way to handle it, and it protects what made the original special for the people who loved playing alone in the quiet. On top of all that, Unknown Worlds has formally committed to 0 microtransactions of any kind. No season passes, no battle passes, no loot boxes. Nothing. In 2026, that deserves to be said out loud and appreciated. And if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, Subnautica 2 is a confirmed Day 1 Game Pass title through the Game Preview program, meaning you can play it for free at early access launch. That's a huge deal. But here's the honest part, and this is the part that I think genuinely matters before you decide to buy. This is early access. Unknown Worlds has estimated that early access will last approximately 2 to 3 years before the 1.0 release. For reference, the original Subnautica spent 4 years in early access, so we could be looking at 2028 or beyond before this is truly complete. The early access build will contain several biomes and some narrative elements, but fans should not expect the game's fully fleshed out story to be present at launch. If you want a complete, polished, story-rich Subnautica experience right now, wait, this is not that yet. And there's something else worth knowing because it's genuinely unusual and important context. The road to this launch has been extremely turbulent behind the scenes. In July 2025, publisher Krafton fired Unknown Worlds co-founders Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max Maguire, replacing them with outside leadership. The founders allege that Krafton delayed the game specifically to avoid paying a $250 million performance bonus tied to revenue targets. A Delaware court ruled in favor of the founders in March 2026, reinstated Ted Gill as CEO, and found that Krafton had breached the agreement without valid cause. As of April 2026, Krafton has been removed as publisher from the Steam page entirely, and the damages phase of the lawsuit is still ongoing. What does that mean for you as a player? It means the team building this game fought to keep control of it and won, which I actually find reassuring. But it also means there's ongoing legal complexity sitting over the studio that adds a layer of uncertainty to everything, and that's worth knowing. Subnautica 2 Early Access launches May 14th, 2026 at $30 on PC through Steam, Epic, and the Microsoft Store, and on Xbox Series X and S. No PS5 version at launch. PlayStation doesn't support early access programs, so that comes later. The footage coming up will show you the world they've built so far, and I think it'll help you decide whether now is the right time to dive in, or whether you'd rather wait for the deep end.
You will sleep through 14 years of flight to your new home on Caesarea. We encourage you to nurture your dreams. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. When you wake up, your new life begins.